Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final Battles End live show of the spring. Don't worry, we'll have plenty more of these, but this is our last one of spring football because Florida State football has officially used all 15 of their allocated practices, one of which was the spring showcase, and they are headed into the summer. Players get a bit of a break before they're right back to it with summer workouts, and before you know it, we'll have blinked and we'll be in Ireland taking on Georgia Tech. Folks, it's been an impressive spring. I mean, we're going to have some guys on tonight to talk about their experience going through the practices. But as someone like yourselves who has followed this team closely for most of my life, I can tell you this is one of the better teams we've had. I mean, Mike Norvell, if you go watch our show we had last week with him on, he rattled off some pretty freaky GPS numbers. I think he said we had over 15 guys hit 20 miles an hour on the GPS this spring. The strength numbers are off the charts. And, you know, when you watch the spring showcase, you see that, right? You see guys who are just flying around the field. The offense looks a little different, obviously. We've got 12 guys headed to the draft on both sides of the ball this weekend. But it's really, really exciting, and that is in large part because of all of you that support the Battles End. So if you're not a member of the Battles End, make sure that you go to thebattlesend.com. And if you're in the chat right now, like the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel and throw some questions in because we're going to bring on a slate of guests tonight. We've got Jackson West, we've got Ja'Kai Douglas, we've got KJ Sampson, we've got Lucas Simmons, and then we've got a surprise alumni guest. D'Mitri Emmanuel is going to close it out with me tonight. So really excited for that. So again, throw your questions in the chat. We're going to bring on our first guest, Jackson West. Jackson, please come join us. Shake your hands. You look so official. Folks, I'm joined by tight end Jackson West. I want to be very clear. I did not tell him to wear the suit tonight, but it looks amazing. And when you had it on, I was like, dude, we gotta roll with the suit. So that gets in your way. But you look great. You said you were giving a presentation tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, I have an internship with Derek Satterfield. He's like the head sports information guy of football. So I do an internship with him, working other sports primarily. And so I had to give a presentation about my internship. So
we're talking a little bit about like some of your other interests. So you're also a musician. I mean, of both kinds, right? Like, talk a little bit about that. So you're classically trained, string, you do the cello, and you also do some DJing now. Talk to us about your musical background for a second.
Yeah, so, I grew up playing stringed instruments and playing in the orchestra. I went to a magnet school in elementary school, so that's kind of where that started. My love for music, and then up until middle school and early high school, played the cello for a majority of it and played in the orchestra and was first seat, and I loved it, still love it to this day. Classical music is definitely an interest of mine, and that kind of carried over to now where, like, college, you kind of take on new genres of music and kind of got into the producing stage of just EDM and genres that I enjoy. So,
do you ever listen to classical music, like when you're warming up or maybe when you're doing the field walk before the game to calm you down?
Oh yeah. It's definitely like a soother for sure. Like Beethoven, Mozart, some of their symphonies are really good ones. Ludwig is great, but yeah.
That's awesome. Do you do it when you're watching film? Because I know, like, I remember in college they talk about studies show, that actually helps with knowledge absorption. Do you ever throw that on?
Yeah, I have like a little playlist, like a study playlist.
Cool.
And a lot of it is classical music, and it's got like some low-key J. Cole vibes and stuff. So definitely helps out with good concentration. I
love it, man. So then, obviously in high school you played 3 sports, pretty good at football, ended up at Florida State. I told you I was going to ask you this, but when we look at what y'all do with the tight ends in this system, they use them so creatively. You don't really have just a pass catcher. You don't have just an H-back. You don't have just an attached tight end that blocks. Y'all are kind of expected to do all of it. Was that something that attracted you to the Florida State program out of high school? Or talk a little bit about just what's required of the tight ends to be so multiple?
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely one of the things that Thompson talked to me about the most, like coming in. He was like, you'll never get bored in this offense. And there's some good and bad things with that, obviously. Like, you've got to learn a lot. And but on the other hand, is like you said, you're used in everything. And that's definitely one of the most appealing things about coming to play tight end here. And I tell recruits all the time, like, if I get to sit down with them, I'm like, dude, you're used everywhere. But that's definitely also the most challenging part about it is you got to know every spot, every you got to know what all four of the receivers are doing, what you're doing in the run game, and so it's definitely challenging, but also hugely beneficial to our room, just because we can be placed in so many positions to make plays, as well as help the team out. And one of my favorite things to do is block.
Okay,
but
good.
like giving the running backs somebody to run behind that they can trust. And but yeah, I mean it's definitely super appealing, at least to me as a recruit coming here. So.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've seen your blocking. I think Saturday we got to see some of your pass catching ability. I think the play you made down the left sideline was again one of the more low key athletic plays. Right, you kind of get knocked off base by Earl. You find your footing, you locate the ball, you catch it. I noticed you had the arm up here. Probably heard Norvell's voice screaming at you to secure the ball. Walk us through that play. Like how fast was that going in your head? And just take me through it.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the main things this spring I was trying to focus on was becoming more of a weapon in the pass game. And that's one thing I really lacked. And I know the coaches really needed to see that out of me to get, myself in a position to obtain more on the field time. But yeah, it was really quick. And I didn't really know it was coming to me, but in the back of my head, I was like, this is probably a good one for DJ right here. But so yeah, I was just like in a little up and out route. And once I got to the little out portion, I saw Earl was kind of playing me inside leverage turn, and then he bit pretty hard on the out route, and then I turned upfield and he kind of grabbed hold of my waist and kind of got me off balance.
Yeah.
But I just looked straight up and like the ball's on me. DJ's got a really good arm, talented kid. And I was just right there, and unfortunately couldn't keep my footing. But it doesn't really work out always the one way you want it to. But yeah,
we still hold it in, man. So first question we got, and folks, again, if you want to ask questions, please throw them in the chat. Make sure y'all like the video, get it rolling through the algorithm. Have you gotten to work with Nick O'Leary at all?
So yeah, Nick coached here obviously for a little bit. He was on staff, and he was definitely towards the back end of the season. A guy who I took a lot of advice from and really took it to heart because he's just been around the game for so long, and obviously was one of the really historic figures here at tight end. But he helped out immensely on my route running game, and just talking about the leverage that the DBs play and the safeties and what you're looking for. And his advice really helped me develop as a player.
Because you would have been probably late elementary school, early middle school in the 13 run. But, I mean, that was kind of the thing you knew with Nick O'Leary was like if the quarterback got in trouble, you just kind of could sense Nick was going to find a soft spot and sit down. And, that's awesome that y'all have gotten to work with him. You play golf at all? You talked to those?
I don't. I'm not a big golf guy. Okay. I mean, I'll drive and I'll be a caddy, but
I'm not. You're already good at let's see, orchestra, electronic music, football, baseball. Maybe you could pick up golf.
Maybe
quick.
I don't know.
Now wants to know: are we going to see tight ends targeted in the end zone more this season with less size at receiver? I mean, okay. I don't. Jackson does not coach. We can't dive directly into secret plays, but I mean, I guess we can talk about how y'all are used in the red zone so creatively, and just talk about what kind of. Let me ask this. So, folks, again, we can't dive deep into scheme, right? So, asking directly like that. Appreciate the question, but what do you think is a more satisfying way to score a touchdown? Catching a pass or running one in?
For me, I'd probably say opening up a lane for the running backs. Just kind of showing, because I feel like we lost a lot of size with the guys who left. And I think if you can successfully have a really good run game this season, then you can prove to a lot of teams that, hey, you're dealing with a team that on in the air and on the ground that you're going to have to defend really well. And so I think running one in personally is my favorite way, just because if you show a team you're a dominant force, then they have to play the run game, which opens up the passing game. But I mean, as far as that question goes, like you said, I personally, I wouldn't even know. But I think that as the tight end room, Kyle and myself and Brian and Landon, I think as bigger bodies, we can definitely help out DJ and Brock and all those guys find ways just to get it up in the air, just to give us a chance to go get it and produce some scoring in the red zone. So.
Yeah, no, 100%. And again, just I go back to like when you talk about opening a hole, like the play against LSU in the first game where you see like, Kyle driving a guy sideways, Jaheim almost kills him. Zyler wants to know, are there any other musicians on the team, and have you played music with them?
I have not, but LT's got some bars, man. I don't specifically can't name a song, but the kid can rap for sure. I think Dre has been on a track with LT before. There's a couple other guys that can really whip out some lyrics. But I haven't worked with anybody yet. So
well, we can have you do the production. Like we're gonna get an FSU Battles song, and then y'all can maybe compare it to the Seminole Rap with Odell.
Yeah,
we're gonna
get something. We'll get something that works for sure.
If you could switch positions, what position would you want to switch to?
If I could switch positions,
like you'd be that size, you don't have to be okay.
I played DN in high school, and my first verbal offer came from DN actually, and I loved playing DN. I would definitely switch to DN if like I had to pick up a different one.
Yeah. Just love getting after the quarterback.
Oh yeah, man, it's fun. It's definitely a fun position.
Awesome, man. Well, dude, we appreciate you coming in, looking amazing in the suit. I feel a little underdressed, but don't worry, we got the next guys in the Battles in gear. And thanks for stopping by to talk spring with us, man.
Really Thank you so much, man.
Thanks a lot. Good talking.
Yes, sir.
Folks, that was tight end Jackson West. We got our next guest coming in just a second. If y'all have questions, make sure to throw them in the chat. Also, if y'all are not supporting the Battles End yet, I mean, you're supporting by being here, but make sure you go to thebattlesend.com. We've got about 5,500 folks that have made a monthly or annual commitment to supporting Florida State's climb directly through name, image, and likeness. So again, join that group. Go to thebattlesend.com. I'm about to be joined by Ja'Kai Douglas. Ja'Kai.
So how you doing?
What's up, dude? Doing all right?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Oh, man. Dude, you always have a different pair of shoes every time I see you. Last time I think was like the bright yellow New Balances. Now we got the silver plated looking. Those are sweet, man.
Yeah,
okay.
Comfortable shoes.
Who's got the best shoe game on the team?
Me.
You are? Okay.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
thought you were gonna say who's the second best?
I don't know. I probably never seen nobody. Okay. Really. I probably seen like KP, Kevin Noahs. Okay. He probably has some nice shoes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take questions from the chat. But first one, just to throw out there, because I asked your brother this: who's faster, you or Jalen?
Me.
Okay.
Regardless, it's gonna be me. I'm gonna give you the answer. It's gonna be me every day until we get that race, and y'all see it on footage.
Yeah.
Y'all go see who's faster.
It'll be like the Jared trade debate of last year. Yeah. You know, we're gonna see it throughout the year. But let's talk about, now that we're at the end of spring, just how cool has it been to have your brother join you on the team, and just talk about how you've seen him grow, and just how cool it's been to have him be a part of your journey as well.
Oh man, it feels great to to have my brother here. It just felt like back at home in high school, just to have somebody. That's your blood, and you could just wake up. Like, we stay in the same apartment, so we could just wake up and be like, let's go to practice. And it just feel great, and to have him on my side, going from like his freshman year in high school on up here, like, he's improved a big jump. He got faster, stronger, and he got a lot more confident in his game. So I see that Jalen his game is picking up.
So I feel like it's been interesting, this spring. At first, folks knew, okay, you're both really fast guys, good in the return game, and can kind of play all over the field. But, I mean, it seems like you've definitely taken much more of like a defined receiver role this spring. Like, can you talk about just what you've been working on most of the spring, and how you really developed to solidify yourself as, again, not just the guy known for being the speedster outlet, but really a staple of the receiving core?
Yeah, this year I was, my last year I was just focused on, being a consistent receiver, just not being able to, being put out there only on big time plays, big moments of the game. I want to be out there knowing that I could be out there for the whole game and just be out there, be consistent, not just for like fourth quarter, third down. We need a big play. I just want to be out there for like each play, first, second, third, and fourth, just to help my team.
Yeah, man. And, I think, again, it's just been so cool to see your journey, and you're one of the last ones left that's, kind of mirrored the journey that Coach has been on since, you've been here for 4 years now. And, like, it feels like the 4th and 14 game against Miami was like almost a lifetime ago. And then sitting here talking to you, it's like, oh, man, we still have one more year of Ja'Kai Douglas who set that up. But just how different are the vibes like in this spring coming off 13-0 after a 10-win season the year before that versus maybe like springs when you first got here and we were still trying to like build?
It's the same. It feel like the same though, coming here it was a little rough our first spring, but Coach Novell just kept the same attitude and the same intensity. But he just, each year he just builds it. He just builds and builds on top of that trying to get that word that I won't say not his mood, but his the way he carries himself. Like it changes each and every day. And since I've been here, his character changed. It got positive, and I just stayed here and believe in him and trust in the process. And I'm here, still here.
It's funny because, again, I always say it's like I think Coach Mike Norvell is the only person I've ever seen that can yell at you out of anger and tell you how great of a job you did in the exact same tone of voice back to back. It's pretty incredible to watch. So we got some questions coming through the chat. Marvin Allen wants to know, what's your favorite route to run?
My favorite route to run is maybe a go ball,
Okay.
up top, Miami, Notre Dame, you seen me catch them. And probably any route that's against DB one-on-one coverage just to get open, probably a curl. I know just showing my speed and showing that I could get down and on my breaks. Really every route, really. Just, I just want to get open.
How fun is it for a guy as fast as you to have someone with DJ's arm strength back there where you really can't outrun him?
Yeah, having DJ back there with my speed, there's no. I don't think you should be able to, mess this up. Well, not be able to mess it up, but there's some times you'll be able to like, you and your quarterback might be first couple of times y'all might have a little ick, but it comes on later on, and y'all see that you're gonna see that a lot from us, from DJ, and Brock too.
Yeah.
You're gonna see a lot from this receiver room and the QB room, because I see that DJ could throw the ball and Brock, the whole QB room could throw the ball. So with this receiver room, with this speed, because like the receiver room we have right now, we got tall guys and we got speed. So like it's gonna be hard to put your DBs on us.
Yeah, and Taze Fungus. Good to see you again, Taze. I can't read that name with a straight face. Taze Fungus wants to know, who do you think will be the breakout receiver of the younger guys that just got on campus? Or maybe we could, even like guys who are maybe going into their second year of that group.
Hakeem and I see Hakeem making a big jump, and Fat. Hakeem, those two guys, I see that, before they even like when they stepped foot on campus, I seen that they had it on their mind. They wanted to come out here and play, and whenever their numbers were called, they showed what they could do.
Yeah, no, it's again, we had Hakeem on one of these shows, man, and just seeing the transformation he's gone through. Again, totally transformed his body, and again, he's living up to what everyone knew he could be. But what do you think, leaving spring, the wide receiver room as a whole improved on most from the beginning of spring?
As we started the spring, we just focused on, we probably focused on something that day or that week. Sometimes we'll work on, then, we work on our stance and starts, being able to come off the ball fast. So these DBs will know, like, hey, like, these dudes coming off the ball fast, they serious. So, like, we work on stuff like that. And hands and, catching the ball, that's what receivers do. But, like, it's just about little things with us. Yeah. And, being able to, like, stay after practice and catch balls, and it's just about the little things, and just to set your self apart from like these other receiver cores in the country.
Yeah. Again, it's been interesting to watch the development because again, then I'll let you get out of here. But folks are kind of like, okay, well, we've obviously got two big names that people expect to get called this weekend in Keon and Johnny, and it seems like it's been less of a okay, let's replace those two guys, and more like, well, the room looks different, but there is so much talent in it. So, just what's it like having, as coach would say, so much more speed in the room? And, what should folks expect to see from this super fast wide receiver room?
This receiver room this year, you'll see a glimpse of everything. Speed, catching the ball, but this receiver room, I see that we could take a big step from this last year receiver group because like we got the mindset and the guys like. I'm a vet, Tron a vet, Darion a vet. We all been in the receiver room, so we already know what it takes to become that top receiver, that receiver core in the nation. And we seen it last year, like with Keon, Johnny, with those pieces, and having those guys last year, and it was a big year for us. But this year, we got to replace them, and we have guys that could do those things Keon and Johnny did, and I see it. Like I see it with this receiver room.
Yeah. No, it's been really cool to see, just to get, like I said in the beginning, how much you've kind of just solidified yourself there, and some of the younger guys like Keem coming up, and we have a lot of tall dudes too. People forget that, but yeah, man. Well, I will let you get out of here, and I appreciate you stopping by and taking some questions for us tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Folks, up next, we're going to have Lucas Simmons, offensive tackle. Folks, if you'd like to ask questions for Lucas about spring football or really anything else, feel free to throw them in the chat. Make sure that y'all are liking the video, sharing it, all that. But most importantly, make sure y'all are members of The Battles In, Florida State's official NIL collective for FSU football. Folks, nowadays, there are really three pillars to competitiveness in college football. Number one, we got to have the coaches and the players. We have those. Number two, we've got to have the facilities and the administration that's bought into making sure we're competitive in that aspect. We have those. We're breaking ground in the new football-only facility, and the construction of the stadium and everything is well underway. And finally, you have to have a competitive NIL program, and that is what we do here at The Battles In. So please go to thebattlesin.com, and if you're not a member, become a member. Lucas, come on in.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good. I'm going to sit up real straight here, try to not look as short as I...
Got you, man.
There we go.
There we go. How you doing?
It's good, man. Don't worry. We'll move the mic to you. You don't need to, compress yourself too much. But dude, every time I see you, man, it's like you've gone from this really tall dude to like bigger and bigger NFL body looking offensive tackle. I mean, very clearly built by Storms. And it's been cool to watch the development, but I want to dive right into how you're feeling leaving spring. I know, in the fall you had some limited participation, all that. You were able to get all that cleared, and you were full go this spring.
Yeah.
What was it like for the first time get to be out there?
It was good because not being able to do fall kind of really had me wanting to get out there for a full period of time, so to say, set out for the team. Yeah. So being able to go out there, improve and get better, that was something that really I appreciated, and it meant a lot for me for sure.
Yeah, man. And what was your first moment where you kind of took a step back, you looked around, you went, okay, this is really hot. I'm actually playing for Florida State. Yeah. Okay, we got here first. We had to sit out, but now we're here. Now it's going on.
You mean this spring?
Yeah. What was the first moment where it hit you okay, I'm living the dream now?
Probably the first. I mean, I've been living the dream, no doubt. Yeah. But the spring, it kind of just sank in after 3-4 practices, knowing okay, I've been doing this for a certain time, a certain amount of time now.
Yeah.
Without having to sit out. So looking back, okay, we're really at practice 4. I'm feeling good. I'm able to go out tomorrow as well and get to do what I love. That's when it hit me.
Yeah,
we rolling.
Yeah, because I just remember talking to you in the fall, man. It was you could just tell you are a guy who just loves the game of football. I mean, you getting to be out there, seeing the smile on your face now. I promise, folks, he does have like a scary side to him. You know, he is not this nice all the time. Like you and Andre, I almost feel like we need to like, we need to like remind you, like you're not always, you know, just this nice. Like there is that mean streak, but getting to see you do that has been incredible. Now you've had 15 practices in the spring. What element of your game do you think has developed the most, and what are you most focused on working on this summer and into fall camp?
I feel like Atkins put a big emphasis on my pass set for the most part. He said that's what's going to get me paid. If I'm able to have a consistent, good pass set, we can work on everything else after that. So putting an emphasis on that really helped me out a lot. But I feel all around, just being able to have that experience of those 15 practices, that helped me out moving on to fall and the summer, working up on myself, going into the season, just not being as like nervous every time when you play, because you have seen some of the stuff that show up. Like you have seen some of the fronts, you kind of know a little more what to do. So kind of having that experience has probably been one of the big things I'm leaving spring with.
So when you talk about your pass sets, I mean, do you mostly are you still working on just get your vertical set to the right distance? Or are you getting into like jump setting guys off the edge?
For now, like all I'm getting like emphasized from Coach Atkins is just get to my spot and don't lean. Just that's something that I've had a problem with, he's leaning and everything.
Gotcha.
So what he's saying, like he simplifies it so much, so it's hard to mess up on.
Good.
So just get to your spot, don't lean. Get to your spot, don't lean. And once I know how to do that, then it can be focus on your hands so it doesn't go down the middle. Put it down to the outside peg. Yep. So it's like once you get the basics of it, then he will proceed to like coach you more in detail.
So how helpful is it to, on top of Coach Atkins, who's one of the best in the country at what he does, also have a couple older guys, especially like Darius Washington, you know, Jeremiah, who's going into his fifth year. How helpful is it to kind of have that 1-2 punch of coach and then guys to help with every
It's
rep?
major, man, because we got guys helping you out from every corner. Like we got Fertitta, Coach Ben, Coach Atkins, and then you got the vets, and like me and Otto were so lucky being able to have them last year and this year as well. Yeah. So it's like you got the coaches telling you in like words, do this, and then you got the guys that you can go look at them right there in front of you, or go back and look at tape. When you see Darius never lean, or when you see JB always get to his spot, and then you always got Rob with you, being able to telling you like every time you come back from that rep, he can go and tell you and give you corrections of what to do. So you got so many guys. He's like being there for you. So if you're willing to listen to it, like you're leaving with a lot of good knowledge from him, for sure. It's
just wild, like how much that's changed. You know, especially again in that room when you got guys like Mo and Darius, who when they were freshmen, like they were they were the last line of defense. But folks, if you all got questions, please throw them in the chat. Taze Fungus asks, who's giving you the most trouble, if any? Oh, trust me, there's been one of the best D lines in the nation. Who's giving you the most trouble this camp?
This year?
Yeah.
The guy went against the most was probably Aaron Hester.
Okay.
Way better since last year, because he has that leverage, and with the bull rush, you got to sit on it.
Yep.
So going against him a lot has really like helped me out trying to improve on like defending the moves that he uses.
Because I imagine it's got to be a challenge for a taller guy, right? Not let him get on your pads and you know, using that stride while also. You know. Yeah,
but he has probably been the guy that's helped me improve the most on the defensive side for sure.
Zach Ainge asks, who has the biggest meanest mean streak on the team?
On the team or on the O-line? I know on the O-line, like, I know Darius knows how to click it. Like, for Darius, he just clicks. Okay. Because he has fun every single practice. Like, all the time. But, like, when we got pods, inside, one-on-ones, team, Indy, when we run out to the shoot, like, he's always the guy that sprints out first. He's always the guy that lines up first on pods, no matter what number of practice we are in. And it just clicks for him. Like, him, JB, Mo, like, they all have that click. Like, when they're just out there, they go, and they don't hold anything back.
And this guy, again, kind of just talked about it, but that's got to be so great to see that, you know, the guys at that age are still taking drills seriously, right? There's not that mentality of, look, we're here for we're here for 11 on 11, but we're older. Like, they're still taking it as seriously as everyone else. If you weren't playing O-line, what position would you want to play?
Ooh, probably wide receiver.
Okay.
I can't catch though, but
can't. Oh.
I gotta learn. If I learn, I'm good, man.
I mean, you just gotta learn the fundamental part of the position, man. And then you know
that I ain't lining up a DN. I'll try nose tackle.
Okay.
I ain't no 3-tech, but I'll try nose.
Be a really, really tall nose tackle.
Oh man, get cut.
Yeah. What's the biggest development you've seen on the defensive line while going against them throughout the spring? What do you think they got the most better at?
I feel like nobody. I didn't go against somebody where they like took a play off. Never. There was always like 100% go, and I feel like going against them, it was rarely the same move. You would not get the same move 2 reps in a row. Like you would have Hester bull rush you, and then you would have him swipe your arms, and you will have Mars go and do like all different things, and you will see him work on it. And then the practice after, when you see guys try to get ready for it, he got something else for you.
Yeah.
So I feel like the variation of like moves they did and just the effort, like that was something I really noticed for sure in spring.
Well, again, I hear this phrase from y'all, right? The iron sharpens iron, and y'all have again one of the best defensive lines to go against in the country. Who's been your biggest mentor out of the other linemen during your career at FSU?
Since I came, I'd probably say last year was a lot of Casey Roddick, D'Mitri Emmanuel, a lot of Darius, a lot of Rob, JB. This year, I'm really like looking at what Darius does, like how he approaches practice, meetings, what he does at practice, the techniques and everything, because he is like the guy you can look at and you know that what he does, try to do that.
Yeah.
And you'll be set.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Last question, I'll let you get out of here. Who is the biggest trash talker on the offensive line?
Probably JB. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
Probably JB. Yeah, JB funny with it though. He good.
He's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll say
I'm
some
like,
funny stuff.
He kind of reminds you like a fun dancing bear character. A lot of times you see that look in his eye and you're like, he's not.
I know.
He'd scare me a little bit, but
Yeah, nah, he really good at that, no doubt.
it's been cool to watch your short development in the past year, man, and I'm just really excited to see where the summer takes you, fall camp, and you've already got one ACC championship ring, and can't wait to watch you help this team get a couple more and maybe even some bigger rings. So
Appreciate
thanks
it,
for coming
man.
by, dude. It's good to
Thank
see
you. Appreciate it. Have a good one, man.
Folks, that was Lucas Simmons. Join us in just a second. We're going to have KJ Sampson, a defensive lineman from New Bern, North Carolina. This is the Battles End live Q&A, our last one of the spring. Don't worry, not our last one ever. If y'all have questions, make sure that you throw them in the chat, and we will get them up to the top. And folks, make sure that you're supporting the Battles End. Go to thebattlesend.com and join the other almost 5,500 folks that have made a monthly or an annual commitment to making sure that Mike Norvell has the resources needed to build a team that can bring home a national championship in 2024. KJ, come on in, man.
What's up?
Oh, man. It's good to have you. This is the first time in the studio, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, last time I think we did content. We were still kind of setting up the temporary thing, and so welcome. How's the spring been, man? You got the spring in the books. Looking back, how you feeling?
I feel good. I learned a lot. Confidence is at an all-time high right now. Just getting ready for the season. About to take a little break, for a week, and get back to work.
What do you do when you take a break? Like, what's kind of your go-to to relax?
Oh, well, I'm going to go back home, see my sister graduate, go to her prom.
Nice.
But it'll just be a lot of I'll still be working out, but won't be like a real physical strain on my body. Just to give my time some time to rest before summer. But I'm gonna stay mentally prepared, and just take a lot of mental reps. That's mainly what my summer's gonna be about. My little break, and just spend time with family.
Good, man. I mean, you gotta get some rest. I mean,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
in an extremely physical position.
Yeah.
Get the body right. I was gonna do it today with everyone to try to find a fun fact or trivia question about their hometown. Yours was the coolest, and I couldn't find other ones. But New Bern is the birthplace of Pepsi.
Yeah.
Talked about that. So, are you a soda drinker at all?
Kinda, not really anymore. But
It's the right answer. Coach
Yeah.
Storms is an avid watcher.
yeah. But if I find myself drinking a soda, probably a pineapple Fanta.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's probably my go-to.
Okay, that's a unique one. So, as you look back of the player you were on the first day of tour duty, and now after tour duty and 15 spring practices, what do you think improved most in your game, and what's the biggest thing you want to continue to work on throughout the summer and the fall camp?
I would say the biggest thing that's is better is like I just say like my drive is getting better. Just playing with better technique. Something I still need to work on is just like the little things like the eye discipline and just like the things that make me a good better player.
Yeah.
Because I'm still young, but like it's just like the little small things, little small bad habits that I have when it comes to which blocker I'm supposed to strike and which technique I'm supposed to use in the call. So just understanding that, because I think now it's more that I understand the defense now more. So now it's just about what technique is best fit and why. It's not really about what I'm doing, because like I know what I have to do now. It's just more of which technique is best used for. And
Yeah, interesting because like I mean we kind of just talked to Lucas about that. He was talking about his pass sets, but he's talking about get the fundamentals down first. Step one, and then that's when you can start building layers on top. Do you have like a go-to pass rush move that's kind of your favorite yet?
Yeah, right now it's probably a club swim, club rip. If I have to do power, probably just bull snatch. It's just basically depending on who I'm going against and what keys I know they have and like just from watching film, I don't know what I'm able to do depending on who I'm going against.
Awesome, man. So, folks, again, questions, throw them in the chat. Taste Fungus wants to know, how does it feel having a guy like Braden Fisk speak so highly of you? And he was talking about the young guys. Like you're one of the names that comes up, and he's obviously going to be a huge name this weekend.
Yeah, I was actually Fisk being back, I got to talk to him a couple of times, and even when he was here, he just always like kept me under his wing, and I just watched him a lot. But I actually just texted him yesterday. I was like, I appreciate it, bro, because like we have a lot of guys on the team that he could have said, and he decided to say to me about it, and he just kept bringing my name up in interviews, and he was just like, go prove me right. So that's something. That's just something else. Keep me motivated. That becomes part of my why now.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, it's true. I mean, folks don't endorse people that they think are gonna make them regret doing it. And you're a name that just keeps circulating. Yourself, Aaron Hester, a few younger D-line guys, but I think when folks look at last year's room, there's always some natural question of like, all right, not only do we have some of the best D-linemen in the nation, we had the deepest in the nation, right? And how are we going to replace so many guys? Now, obviously, some transfers have come in, Sione, Tomey, Grady, but, hearing just the development of you, like that gets people really excited. And does it change, like, your mindset at all? Or are you able to kind of block all that noise out? Or how does do you deal with the public perception?
I don't, honestly, I rarely see it, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't really care that much about what the public says, because I mean, really, all that matters is what I know, and then what my coaches want me to do, and how I know who I am as a player. So, I mean, it's good to see it every now and then, but it doesn't really bother me that much, good or bad, because it'll change. Yeah, it changes from time to time. So I mean.
Folks are mercurial, but except for all the great battles and supporters out there, obviously we love y'all. Very sane, rational fan base, as is everyone in the Florida State internet sphere. Love you guys so much. Roll Tribe NC, a fellow North Carolinian. Is it Carolina? But that's how you say it. KJ, what would be a better feeling, a sack for a safety or a scoop and score?
Probably a scoop and score.
Okay.
Probably a scoop and score. I don't know. A sack. A sack's a sack. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a sack.
You gotta celebrate. Like, let's say you get a sack in the end zone for a safety. Like, what's the celebration that's gonna come out?
I'll probably just go crazy. I don't even know. Like, it would just probably be in the moment, honestly. Yeah. Like, I don't really have like a celebration that like I know I'm gonna do. It's just like whatever feels right in the moment. I feel like.
So, it's probably good you don't like choreograph too. If you bust out a full choreography, we'd be like, what have you been working on?
Yeah, right.
Hannah asks, if you could play against any other team of your choice, who would you choose? So I guess what team do you get most excited to play during the year?
It might just be because, like, besides Florida and Miami, anytime I get to go back home,
Yeah.
to North Carolina, especially like playing any North Carolina school, is fun because I mean I have a lot of guys on that grew up playing with and
Yep.
playing against, and so it's fun to go see them and play against them and beat them.
Did you have any like fandom for any of the North Carolina schools growing up when you were a kid?
So growing up, I was a Duke basketball fan.
Okay.
So that was something because I was a Duke Blue Devil fan. My mom was a Carolina fan.
Okay.
And my brother and my sister are Carolina fans, and then my other brother and my other sister are Duke fans. So it's literally a house divided.
Good.
So yeah, that was pretty much it. Just a Duke Blue Devil fan of basketball.
I love that a house like we're just gonna split down the middle.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. It'll make it more enjoyable.
Right.
What a crazy year in March Madness for the state of
yeah.
North Carolina in general, with
Right.
NC State making that run. If you were gonna play one other sport, what would it be? Would it be basketball or?
It would be basketball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you play basketball in high school?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I played basketball, played football in high school, but growing up I played basketball, football, and baseball.
Okay.
Yeah.
What position? Were you a big man in basketball, or you on the outside?
I was a big, but I could play on the outside too. So
How much did playing other sports like that? How much does that help you improve as a football player?
I feel like playing multiple sports helps a lot. I mean, not just with competing, but like you get to play with different people from different backgrounds. As far as sports goes, I think basketball helped me a lot translate to football. Same thing with baseball. I mean, baseball has a lot of hand-eye coordination, so like you use the same thing in football, and then basketball and football it's not that much different when it comes to footwork. So
Yeah.
just like the little things that people may not think about, I think
That's
with the sports are
that's impressive, man. I
Yeah.
mean, again, you're what 310-ish?
300,
Jeez.
yeah.
I remember I saw Cam Irving back in the day dunk a basketball.
Oh, yeah.
So we got to get a video of you doing that one time. It's an impressive sight to
Oh,
see
yeah, it
300-pounder
is.
dunk. Which O lineman gave you the most trouble in spring camp?
In the spring,
Yeah.
definitely Ferg.
Okay.
Yeah, me and Ferg, we battle a lot. And it's fun. I mean, like we compete when we're on the field, but like as soon as like we're off, I mean, we both talk about like how we could get better with what our technique or what gave it away, how we were able to win each rep. So I mean, just getting able to go against Ferg and the whole O-line really, it helps a lot because I mean, Darius is like probably the other one too. He's like my locker mate, like he's right across from me. So like we're talking all the time about like what I could do better, and like we just give each other tools, and it's fun. It's fun going against those guys. I mean, you have guys that you can compete against
Yeah.
that can make you better. I mean,
So then still kind of have that friendship, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
you're not just like, oh, we're competing, you know,
Right.
we're divided.
Right.
You know, that's awesome. See, who on the D-line side has been, I guess, maybe your biggest mentor or, you know, kind of that figure for you this spring?
This spring has definitely been. I would definitely say Daryl and Josh, and Daniel. Those three, they're crazy, but like they know what Coach Odell is like, and so like sometimes where I don't really understand like what he's talking about, like they break it down for me, and like it makes it easier, you know. Helps me through practices sometimes, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna lie, Odell was on me hard this spring, which I knew coming into spring, but just still like having to go through it, it's crazy. But definitely those three guys, they helped me a lot.
Yeah, and look, I mean, again, Odell is, to quote Josh
Dope.
Farmer, the best
Yeah.
defensive line coach in the nation, and you know, him being hard on you is probably a
Right.
good thing. You know, it's going to be interesting to have this conversation again in a year, 2 years, and you know, when you're the older guy mentoring down, you're
yeah.
like, all right, I've learned how to
yeah.
translate Odell for the younger guys, you
Right.
know. But again, having him be hard on you just speaks to your development.
Oh, yeah.
What we should expect to see. Juju asks, who's your top 3 basketball trio from the team? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't care who we're playing against. I'm giving my boys. It's gonna be me, DeMarco, and Juice, and I don't care who we're playing.
Okay.
We'll win.
Yeah, Juice Cry, right?
Yeah, Juice. Yeah,
Linebacker.
Juice
All
Cry.
right. So he's kind of the fast guy on the outside. We got you as the big man. So where's DeMarco? Like, what's kind of his role in
DeMarco.
that
So
three?
DeMarco, it's weird. So actually, DeMarco, like me, like we all we can all create for ourselves.
Okay.
But like for some reason, DeMarco likes setting screens and being the post guy. So we let him do it, and like we just play off each other, and like the guys know, like we've had some basketball games, and my squads came out on top a couple times. So
really, so that was the fastest answer. I mean, I think last fall, that was one of our rolling TikTok questions, right? It was like, and that was the fastest answer I've heard. You were like, I got my squad. We've played. We got the whiteboard out. We're ready to roll. Who's been your favorite transfer on the D line this year? Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, it is. Honestly, dang. Literally all of them are great. I'd say between Tommy and Grady.
Okay.
They keep me laughing, dude. Tommy's hilarious.
Yeah.
And Grady's like laid back. You don't expect Grady to be funny, but like Grady's hilarious.
This is gonna shock you. He's the only person that has come to one of these shows in Crocs. In fact, when we were talking about your D-line move, the reason I was kind of like trying to hold back a laugh was when I asked Grady his favorite movie. He said it was The Hump. So all I could think about is like, it doesn't matter if it's a family show, but no, he's a funny dude. What when you get guys who come from other organizations and come in, they've done things a little differently. They bring their own skill set. Talk about what are a couple things maybe you've learned or picked up from the transfers that maybe they brought in from the outside.
Yeah, like just seeing how Grady works and just how he practices and like you said, he likes to hump. Like that's actually a move I've been trying to like work on. Yeah. But like I never could like really get it at first. But like I've seen him use it a couple times in practice, and now like I understand how to use it. Like just seeing like this things in film, and like I said earlier, like we coach each other. Like even though Odell's coaching, sometimes it's easier from hearing it from your teammate than the coach. Yeah. And like we're saying the exact same thing. So like just really like seeing with those guys, like we can all learn from each other. So I mean, it's good.
We got a good crop, man. I mean, I remember. Anyway, Tommy's brilliant, and Siona's been awesome, and I love working with all y'all. I can't read that, Kev. I see something about. Oh, what's your feeling on the turquoise jerseys?
I actually like them.
Yeah,
I like them a lot, actually.
Big turquoise guy. I know people, the traditionalists, but like I like my short sleeve turquoise.
Yeah, it's pretty fire. I'm not gonna lie, it's different. Yeah. I think. Me personally, I think it looks best with the gold pants.
Okay.
I think so, but either way, I think it's pretty fire.
Yeah, with the garnets, and I don't know. When I saw it this weekend, I was like, I think it was almost used perfectly. Like I loved it as a QB jersey. Yeah. I was like, that's a great like use of it. Right. There's good contrast, but I think you'd almost have to do either the gold or the white. Throw on the white helmet, like this bad boy right here, or I guess the full size one, but. Anyway, folks, I'm going to let KJ get out of here. He's been a great sport with our questions. Again, man, it's awesome to talk to you in these environments and see kind of your star rising as, in real time, right? That's the beauty of getting to do this. Right. Like, we don't have to wait until, you become the next, like, Josh Farmer or Darrell Jackson. We're going to talk to you now, and, we'll get to see what you can show everybody this fall. So thanks for coming by, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, folks, that was KJ Sampson. We're joined by one of our young guys, and now we're going to have one of our older guys. We got our special alumni guest, host of Behind the Visor, D'Mitri Emmanuel, Big Meech.
What's up, brother? What's up, man? I'm good.
Let's sneak this real quick. And folks, I'm excited to bring Meech on because he is not only a Battles In athlete from last year, he's actually been working with us doing his Behind the Visor show. If y'all aren't following our YouTube channel, make sure that you follow the channel, you subscribe to it. You can see all the episodes of Behind the Visor on there. And I mean, that alone, we'll talk about it in a second, but that's been cool to see you run with. We've got, 2 more episodes in the books breaking down spring. Who do we have coming out for the people?
So we got Omar, and we also have a special guest, Hakeem, too.
Yeah.
So it was cool getting both those guys on and just chopping up with them. getting a different perspective. And Keem was telling us, everyone wants to be a receiver growing up. I tell him, if you want to play DB, I'll route you up now. So
Okay.
I got a PhD in route running, man. You know what I'm saying?
Talking about you or your Madden creative player?
Yeah, both of us.
Yeah. But dude, let's start with the most topical thing. This week, you opened a box. In that box was a ring that said 13-0, ACC champions. How cool of a feeling was it to have that in your hands, get to put that on from the program that you came into 2 years ago that was knocking on the door but hadn't gotten there yet? Just how satisfying of a moment was that?
Yeah, honestly, man, it was top tier. It just kind of just brought you back to all the memories and just the hard work that you put in. All the times Coach Novell is yelling at you on the practice field, you're just pushing, trying to be better, and there's a lot of work, sacrifice, and with opening up that box and seeing that ring, it was like, wow, man, we accomplished a lot, 13-0, ACC championship, and then obviously getting to play back in Charlotte, that was just a great feeling too. So, I mean, it was great, man. It just took us back to the memories. It was a fun last couple seasons since I've been here.
Yeah, no, and it's been fun, dude, to go online and see fans of programs who celebrate things like Pinstripe Bowl championships, talk about whether it should be 13-0 or whatever, and again, they get real excited about 7-6 bowl wins down there, which is really cool, and I mean, cute for them. You gotta. Don't want to be too mean to those kids because most of them can read. But folks, we'll talk about Florida State stuff today. It's been cool to go to practice and see you kind of being out there, still helping the team, still doing a little bit of coaching, giving the guys pointers. But just talk about the culture of it being a player-led room. We gotten to hear it tonight from Lucas's perspective, but from the older guy, how do y'all work to make sure that senior-led, player-led culture doesn't end with y'all?
Yeah, so I mean, whilst you're still there, you want to keep pouring in to the young guys. I mean, that's one of the main things that when I first entered the transfer portal and I was looking to come to Florida State, Coach Novell sat me down and he was like, hey man, look, you played a lot of football, but you're not going to come here and be successful if you don't tap into the young guys. And that was like his main request, one of the main requests for me to do, and I was something I had no problem doing at all. So you kind of want to just while you're here, still leave an example of how to do things the right way, and have success. And you see guys like Lucas who was just on, Jalen Early, Otto, guys are just trying to embrace that, and you see them putting in, huh?
What? No,
I was gonna say, you see them putting in the work. So it's like they're doing a great job. So
give us a little preview, man. Like who? I feel bad making us call guys up, but to talk about some of the young guys that maybe fans should be most excited for, and what we're going to see out of them.
Well, I mean, it takes me back to when I was young in my career. I was just so hungry, and a guy that kind of reminds me of that is like Otto, because he's right now. It's already hard to just play one position, but he's been out there the whole spring playing right tackle, and he's also been playing center. And first of all, just playing center, that's a big responsibility because you're the leader of the offensive line. You have to get everyone set and ready. And he's been able to go out there and operate at a high level, and also show his position versatility. So, I mean, doing things like that gets you on the field quickly, and that just gets coaches' attention and trust. And the best thing about that and him per se is just, he wants to be really good, really not. Like he knows, when he makes mistakes, like he gets really hard on himself. And I tell him all the time, sometimes that stuff gonna happen, but it's the next play. It's how it's your mindset, your mentality behind it. So, he's been doing a great job. Like I said, Lucas, he's been doing a great job. Also, I mean, his growth between just the start of spring and where he was at during the spring game, and like even practices after that. He's had a tremendous spring, really honing in and holding himself accountable for his progress. He's a guy that's the last couple of days we've just been out there doing extra work, and he's just asking me, hey man, like on this 570 squeeze, like what am I supposed to be looking at? Where are my eyes? Like what's my technique? Am I setting vertical? Am I gonna set 45? Which all these different things that as an older player you're thinking about, but it's so great to just kind of see them as a young player, really, really looking at it and like really taking their career seriously, putting their own hands. So, I mean, Jalen Early is also another guy. He's shown a lot of promise. He played in the Georgia game last year when I believe it was Darius had went down for a little bit.
Yep.
He got some reps. Julian Almel has done a great job too. So, it's just all the young guys have been doing well, but I'll say those guys are guys I've been able to look at and be like, wow, they've actually taken the next step for real.
Yeah, man, and dude, I told Lucas this to his face earlier. Like, he's a guy who loves football.
Yeah.
You can tell he works hard. Andre's a guy that loves to work. Like, I feel like he's the type of person who just has that sort of. Not that anyone on the team's not a hard worker, but he's up to 330 now. And like you said, he's learning two positions. I mean, he said on our show either last week or the week before the episode he was on that they ran a wishbone triple option in high school. Like, he had to learn the kick step. Now they're putting him at two positions, which is wild to see. Taze Fungus wants to know, man, looking back at your career at FSU, who was the hardest D lineman you ever had to go against?
In games or like practice, probably.
Let's say someone from our team, and then who on another team in a game.
Because I would say, like, every day at practice, we go against the best defensive line every single day. So that's what really made the games easier. I mean, Fabian was always someone hard to go against. I mean, he was super strong. If you was leaning any type of way, he was going to throw you at the club. Braden Fisk, his quickness. I mean, his first step quickness, if you don't get off the ball, he's going to beat you. So, and then, I mean, all these guys, Josh, Darryl. I mean, Darryl is a man-child out there. He's if you're looking to go to the NFL, you want to go against him every single day because that's what they look like, And then Josh Farmer, me and him went against each other the most. So, I mean, I know it's all those guys, but all those guys.
Who outside of the program was like one of the hardest you remember having to go against?
I would say there's a D lineman from Duke. His name was Dwayne Carter. He was a really good player, just strong, physical player. And
He wasn't also a musician, was he?
I'm
Dwayne Carter wasn't.
Not the musician.
Just checking.
Yeah. He was actually known from back home, from North Carolina. So we played against each other. I think that was our third time going against each other now. So, I mean, he was a good player, for sure. But I'll say he was probably one of the better ones for sure.
What for you as a player was like the most challenging trait to go against? Was it the power guys? Was it the speed guy? What was it?
I would say more power. I would say that the hardest thing is for someone that has both and can switch it up at a timely manner. For different situations. But I would say more power because you have to be able to sit the bull rush and stuff like that. And sometimes it's not easy to do. So. But guys with speed, I used to kind of just be able to get to my spot, and I'd feel good about just waiting for them to shoot that move, and I would just go strike and get my hands on them. But
I mean, speed you can kind of use someone's speed against them, like power. Like when 6'6", 330 Darryl hits you, like you can't use that against him. That's
exactly
just
that is just straight up. We can't coach can't scheme anything up for you. You just gotta kind of go do your job. But yeah, so I'll say power is more hard to go against.
So other than Doak Campbell, what was your other favorite stadium to play in?
Other than Doak, Clemson Stadium.
Okay.
Just because we got to beat them this year. That was incredible because they was pretty loud. Even though it was a 12 o'clock game, and getting out of there with a victory was good. I would say playing at Florida was cool just because. All the adversity. It was loud, and it was a night game, and it was pretty intense.
Yeah, dude. What was that? I mean, okay, so let's talk about that moment for a second because that was probably one of the crazier moments at your position during the year. Y'all are in Florida. You're driving. Tate goes down.
Yeah.
Brock comes in, and Florida does what they do to backup / third string quarterbacks, calls a zero blitz. So y'all are kind of looking down the barrel of 8 men on the line.
Yeah, man.
Third string freshman quarterback in. What's going through your head as the O-line in that moment?
Yeah. So, I mean, all right. So we take it down. We're winning the game. We're just trying to put together a nice little drive to go ahead and seal the game. Tate scrambles. I think it was like second or third down, and then he scrambles on a nice little run and slides. He obviously gets hit late. I mean, he was pissed. He was all like, man, we just want to make sure he was good. But then first play, Brock comes in the game. And we all know, okay, we got a freshman quarterback in. And, of course, like you said, you see them creeping up for the blitz, bro. And it's like, all right. But I think we had like some type of run play called. And when they showed the pressure, Brock actually checked to it was like a rollout pass, which is actually the correct check. Anytime we have pressure, we check to that play just because it just gives us a better chance to have success on the play. Anyway, so he checks to it, and we all kind of like trying to see like
that's the right call. But
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Like, but we was just more so just impressed the fact that he even knew like in that situation that we couldn't run the play that we had before. So, it was like, okay, let's run it, and so. I can't remember what happened. I think it was like
I think it was the right call. I think he got batted at the line. It was something where it was a good throw, but I think it was a D lineman got his hand on it.
Yeah. So I mean, it got batted down. I think we probably kicked the field goal or something. Can't exactly remember what happened after that. I mean, but I was just more so just impressed in the moment. Like, he comes in the game and the first play, he's already, trying to check plays and trying to take command of the offense. I mean, that's just kind of the guy he is. He's not going to back down from the challenge.
But having seen another school in Charlotte, and now again seeing it from an older guy who's been there frequently, like how much that was just the Mike Norvell, Alex Atkins mentality, right? That they preach, always be ready to be the next guy up. And I feel like, was that kind of like an embodiment of, hey, that's what they tell you to do?
Yeah, man. I think at Charlotte, we always kind of said, next man up, but we knew if the next man was up, we didn't have a chance. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's only so many guys that.
If I go down, Kev's like, well, next man up, but like.
Yeah, man. It's just like, all right, now we didn't really have faith and believe, but no, I also don't think we put the work in, or maybe it's preached it as much as we have here. Like here it's truly next man up mentality, but also support your brother. That is in there. So you're not like hating on them or wishing that anything happens, but if something does happen, you want to make sure you're ready. And so I think that's just part of the kind of the culture and the brotherhood that Coach Norvell preaches here, and Coach Atkins is always talking about the unselfishness of the offense. A lot of guys want to make plays, and we see Keon making the one-handed catches, and Johnny, just going over guys, and as a receiver, you're like you want that to be you too. You know what I'm saying? But how are you gonna be selfish? How are you gonna try and help those guys out while they're making plays so that you're ready? How are you gonna be trying to learn? That's what really makes a team great. Like, that's what makes an offense really good. When the receivers are the leaders of the room, leaders of the offense, running backs. You see the running back room just unselfish. Guys go in, make plays, and you see the first guys celebrating with them or the running backs on the sideline.
Yeah.
So just that whole mentality, if your teammates supporting you, that helps you out too. So when it's time you have to go in the game, like it's like, okay, let's go. We riding with Brock. So I mean, that's kind of what happened in that Florida game, and then it led into the ACC championship too. We believed in Brock, and he was ready to go.
Yeah, man, and just so in spring, I mean, I think one thing that is really noticeable is that y'all don't do in spring like a ones on ones type thing. It seems like, especially in the offensive line, I mean, every possible combination is out there. How helpful is that for these young guys' development to know, like, even if you just got here, like Todd, right? Like you're going to go against Daryl Jackson. Yeah. Like you're not, in these 15 practices, it's not, Josh Farmer's coming at you. Pat Payton, Andre is going to come at you off the edge. Like how beneficial is that for their development?
I mean, it grows you up quick because those are, like I said, that practice is where the games were so easy for us because we're so competitive at practice, and that defensive line room is always elite. So as a young guy, you get thrown in the fire. Like out of high school, like Todd, I'm sure out of high school was like, oh shoot, I can't wait to go against Dale Jackson in the spring. But he was, he got to feel it firsthand. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's different than being on the sideline. Be like, and now that I'm watching, I'm like, dang, these guys got some power. So but I mean, it's tremendous to their growth. I mean, they just got to take it the right way, take the right mindset with it. It's like I say, it's not going to be easy, but it definitely will help you out in the long run of your career. I mean, get you a head start going against guys, so the games will just be super easy. And Coach Atkins does a good job, like mentally developing them too, like learning the intricacies of the position and the game.
And I gotta think, I mean, like if you've gone against this D line in practice, like no one out there is going to scare you.
No,
there's not going to be go in the game because someone went down, and it's like, well, yeah, I mean, I've played against the highest caliber of dudes. Like I know what I'm doing. I feel like there's two related questions here, right? One, what's your favorite hobby outside of football related activities? And there's another one asking if you plan on playing NCAA football 2025.
Okay, I'm gonna be playing that game. I still play at 14.
Yeah.
I got I downloaded the roster from the last season. So me and Darius be playing each other when I'm just hanging out with him. And we won a couple national championships on my road to glory. So I definitely will be playing 25. And then my favorite thing outside of football, honestly, is I like reading. I like going on walks in the trails in Tallahassee, and then just kind of just being outside. Hanging out with my teammates, trying new restaurants and stuff like that. So, that's probably my favorite thing to do outside of football. But
the last game was 2014, and we are still not in a year far enough out where I haven't played it in dynasty mode. Like even back then, like I definitely was getting to the 2030s. Like man, racking up 15 national championships in a row.
Bro.
We can't wait for that. But dude, I know you do the Behind the Visor show. And again, folks, seriously, if you haven't checked it out yet, I mean, it's the only collective player-led, I guess podcast is the colloquial term, but really show on YouTube where Meech sits down with active players and y'all have just really cool conversations. And like, when we came up with the idea, really you said, hey, I have this interest, and you ran with it, man. And it's so unique to watch. Where like I can ask you questions all day, but I've never put one of those helmets on, And well, I mean, I've put that helmet on once or twice, but I've never ran out on the field. I've never played at this level.
Yeah.
It's cool to see those conversations. So, I'm almost like becoming a fan of your work, getting to watch it, and I'm excited because I think these are the first 2 episodes where I wasn't here for the filming, so I'm gonna get to watch it like a cold audience member.
Yeah, man. No, the behind the visor. I mean, just wanted to give the fans, more of just a personal, intake to the relationship I have with some of my teammates, as we just kind of talk through different things that's happened throughout the season, throughout their careers and their journey to even come to Florida State. So, I mean, I wouldn't have been able to do it without the help of you and Ingram and other guys involved within the Battles End. So it's just, it's been great, but. I hope everyone that's watching tonight can go back and check out a couple episodes. And we got a couple more dropping soon.
Oh yeah, and for that question, no, this won't be the last one until the fall. We're gonna have plenty of live shows. Just the last spring football based one. We got some cool stuff planned over the summer. We did some cool stuff last summer, and we're gonna make sure that this summer is content filled. So make sure y'all are following the channels. Last one here, 21 asks. This is a really good question. What's up, Meech? What's up, brother? What is the biggest transition from O-lineman from high school to college?
The biggest transition from O-line high school to college. I mean, high school, you're kind of just the best player on your team. So, you just move guys out the way just off your pure strength. You're probably not being as technical. In college, it's a different game where technique actually matters more than your physicality strength. So if you're not doing the right technical things, or if you don't understand the game mentally yet, like what defenses are trying to do, because they're just trying to trick you, So if you can kind of get the cues and mentally, process information, it helps you out tremendously getting on the field early in your career. That's why you see you have a lot of guys who might be talented in high school, all the stars and stuff like that, but when they get to college, you usually kind of tend to see guys start around their third season or maybe second year, and that's just mainly because it takes a while to actually process the mental information of the game, and so it's a huge transition. It's not easy to do because you're used to going just from moving guys out the way, just bullying people, to just getting bullied sometimes, and then sometimes just being late on a couple reactions and. It's just not easy to do. So it's a hard thing to do. So it takes some time to transition. But if you do get it early, usually, and you see those guys playing as freshmen, you can tell they're going to be really good players.
Yeah, and it's crazy talking to you. Just like how much gets thrown at you. It's like, hey, you gotta get bigger, more technical. You gotta learn more complicated offense, and you got those dudes going against you. How does the experience maybe of like a Mo Smith and a Darius who had to start as freshmen, how does that differ in development that you've seen from guys like Andre who get to develop behind a stacked offensive line the year before and kind of I don't want to say get to walk into it, but it wasn't hey, you're here, great, get on the field, start.
I mean, you look at those guys. I mean, Darius. I mean, sometimes even before I got here, fans would always kind of say things or tweet things like Darius is not that good and all that. And now you kind of see the success he's having now, just because sometimes you're just not ready to go out there. And he's always been a good player, good athlete, and had good athleticism and stuff like that. But he just kept progressing and getting better over time, and that's just kind of how the position is.
Yeah.
It takes time to develop into an elite player. Even the same thing with Maurice. Like fans didn't want Maurice to start in 2022, and then they brought in Caden Lyles, and there's that competition. And he took his game to another level. I think that year when I first got here, he had kind of already said I'm going to be the guy, and both those guys have fought through injury. And, you see where they're at now and the success that they have. I mean, this is their year. They're seniors now. This is their team. They're going to have a great year just because of, all the things that they've been through. Sometimes it's not always, sunshine and rainbows. You have to go through it to get to it, Even you look at a guy like Rob Scott, man, like Rob has been through so much since he's been here, came in as a freshman and was out there playing, And you look at him, like if you go back and watch the film, he was out there making mistakes, and he wasn't even that big of a player. Like he had so much more weight to put on, and he went out there and started 30 games and was an elite player. He's just fighting back through some injuries, and that's probably because he was out there too early, before he was even ready to be out there. But he was the best available. So once he's able to heal up and get his body back together, I mean, he's going to be playing at another elite level. So I mean, those three guys right there just kind of goes to show you, sometimes you might not always have the success early in your career, but if you just keep going, it's a steady progress, And so, actually, like guys like Otto and all the other young guys, they're able to actually sit back and learn from those mistakes without having to actually, without the mistakes penalizing them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like without them going out there and give up a sack and then be like, oh, I have to set vertical now because this is what happened. So they're able to see and to pay attention, and I think it's helped them tremendously.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, I just think I'm going to end it on a quote from my mom because I know she watches like every second of this because, love you, Mom.
Hey.
She used to always say, like, she'd give me advice and say, look, you can take my advice for what you paid for it, which is nothing, or what I paid for it, which is a lot, and it's cool to see that with the young guys, right? It's like, and they all do take that to heart and how seriously they talk about learning from you, learning from Mo, and like, learning from the mistakes of those guys, and that just compounds their development. But man, I appreciate you being our last second alumni guest, folks. We really appreciate the questions. We appreciate y'all following the social channels, watching Behind the Vise, but most importantly, we appreciate y'all supporting The Battles In by going to thebattlesin.com. Again, like I say, NIL is one of three key pillars to competitiveness in today's college football landscape. Coach Norvell will tell you that. You can see the videos on our website. Anyone on staff will tell you that. And anyone that follows college football will tell you that. And our job is to make sure that that pillar is sound and we can build a team that's ready to respond in 2024. So with that, that's Big Meech. All of our players tonight. I'm Max Booty, and this was the final just for the spring. We'll be here in the summer, the Battles In live show.